Hey guys, welcome to Frame Chasers. This is just a re-upload of the Twitch stream that I just did. Me and a few community members got together and tried to troubleshoot the 3080 crashing issue. And I think we discovered the crux of the problem. But I'll do a recap in another video of our findings, but I'm gonna upload this because I think there's a lot of it was a good video. It was a good Twitch stream. We go into depth about philosophy on different people's approaches to fixing their problems, whiners versus people that try and fix it themselves, how that came about. I thought it was a really good discussion that we had, so I'm going to upload this. It's long. If you just leave it playing in the background if you enjoy this kind of stuff. If you don't, just skip this video and wait for the recap if you just want the results on what's causing the crashes. But here it is. Enjoy it. Listen. Thanks for stopping by. Let's see if this swaps. Nice. Oh, that worked out nicely. Okay. Welcome to the show, I suppose. So, we're going to be doing some 3080 crash testing here because I have a few theories on what's going on here. Let me turn down the music a little bit, can I? Just a bit. Why is this so loud? Okay, that's fine. Okay. Let me bring up Afterburner first and foremost. So, my 3080, let me turn the fan speed up here as well. My 3080 is Shunt modded, so it's not going to run stock out of the box anymore. That's the thing. But we can circumvent that. Let me open Precision here. Come on, Precision. You can do it. So, the Shunt mod adds... Okay, here we go. Fan speed 100%. That's what I want. Okay. No, not auto. God, no. What have I done? You have to use two different apps to control the fan speed. Okay, there we go. So the Shunt mod adds 1.625. So 320 watts. 1.62... Oh my god, I pressed the button. 320 times 1.625. 520 watts max. Now, what percentage on the slider do we have to bring it down by to make it 320 watts? I don't know my math. Divided by 320. No, that's fuck. That's not. Shit, I'm an idiot. 320 times. How do I do the math on that? I'm like, hang on a second. Times 0.4? Nope. 520 times 0.2. Nope. Nope. Stop. I'm an idiot. 520 times 0.4. 520 times 0.5. 260. 520 times 0.6. Oh, that's worth 6. Oh yeah, 625. Just don't need the 1. 520 times 0.625. So we need to move the power slider at 62%. 520 watts times point. Let's try 63%. Okay, 62%. So if we move the power slider to there will be a 3080 20 gig eventually. Not for a while though. They're not gonna they're not gonna make their 10 gig card just like obsolete in the next like it'll be at least 6 months. There's no way. Unless maybe AMD comes out with some crazy shit, then maybe Christmas or like maybe January, I would assume. But here, let me do this here. Where's the power slider? So we have to move this to 62%. Temp limit, that won't matter. Can I move the temp limit up without? Oh, I can. Look at that. Okay. So this 62% power limit and cranked temp limit. I'm actually going to close Afterburner here. We don't need to do Afterburner for this part. So this should be the stock. So like the card should perform exactly stock now. Like this is like what out of the box is. So actually we are going to need Afterburner because I can show you some voltage graphs here. What would be a good game to test on this? Maybe just a Fire Strike benchmark or something. Something that has a really spiky load to it. Like a really high ups and downs. That's what I want to test here. Afterburner, are you open? Okay. Let me detach. That's what I want. Okay, Afterburner, you can go up here. So let's find... Where's power? Power percentage and power wattage here. These are the ones that we want to see here. I also want GPU voltage, actually. Monitoring. Voltage limit? No, not voltage limit. I can't monitor. Oh, here it is. Voltage at the very bottom. Voltage power, or GPU voltage. So, COD for real world Metro Exodus. I don't have Metro Exodus installed, though. That's the problem. Why would that game crash the most? Is it really peaky or spiky? Can I move this up at all? Oh, I gotta do it in the other window here. Monitoring. Can I move this up? Yes, I can. Just gonna move this up all the way so we can see power, power draw, and GPU voltage all on the same graph here. Oh my god. I don't care about CPU. Okay. Actually, we can even move power limit up as well. So did that move it over here? I'm gonna close this. Detach. Okay, apply. Detach. Sorry guys, 1 second. Okay. Okay, so we got GPU voltage, power percent, and power wattage. Core clock and memory. Perfect. This is what we want to... These graphs are what we want to see for our testing here. Dude, the whole launch is completely overblown. Don't worry about it. It's not... Like, it's completely overblown. It's not a problem at all. And I find it hard to believe that a capacitor bank would make or break a card, right? Modern Warfare crashing on 3090 for the... Oh, my COD was crashing last week on, not crashing, but it was, hitching, I want to say, but that wasn't related to the actual 3080. But we can try that in a bit, though. Let's do... Okay, so we got 62% power limit. That's 320 watts, 91 temp, and the card is stock otherwise. Completely stock. So, you guys should be able to see... Let me open up an app here. Let's so... What are we going to open up here? I guess let's do Warzone then, sure. Why not? That should work. As long as you can see the overlay at the top, just so we can see what the spikes are doing. I wouldn't spend money on an AIO for a 1070 in this, I think it's too late for that now. Unless the AIO is, like, transferable to future cards, right? I don't know if there is such a thing. Possibly. Can you guys see the green screen? Okay, good. Thank God it loaded. Holy shit. How's the microphone volume to music volume for you guys? Okay. Can you see this on your screen? You should be able to. Yeah. Okay, so we got voltage here. Which one is this one? I don't have... Hang on a second. It might even crash because I'm in Alt-Tab now. Warzone problems. Yeah, Warzone problems. You can't... Note to those people, you can't have Warzone open and Afterburner at the same time. And, you can, but you can't Alt-Tab. If you Alt-Tab, it'll crash it. But, I want... GPU temperature? Sure. Core clock? Yes. Memory clock? Yes. Power percentage? I also want... power. The actual wattage number. Okay. Now let's go back into Warzone here. Good. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Hell, dude, half the... When you're, like, Twitch streaming and, like... Or just streaming in general, half the battle is just getting your sound levels right. It takes so long. Like, I was sitting here for, like, an hour beforehand, just, like, recording myself. And then, like, trying to make sure that my voice was, like... It's such a shit show. I don't like streaming too much, personally. That's why I only do it twice a week. I prefer YouTube, myself. No, the error is because Afterburner was open. As soon as you close Afterburner, it works fine. You can Alt-Tab all you want. It's something to do with how Afterburner hooks the game for the overlay. And if you go into options and change any of the settings, the game will crash too if Afterburner's open. That's the... But I think we're fine here. 14... Okay, so I already tried. This is 1440p right now. Let's just go into, like, I don't want to change any settings or else it'll crash. Let's go into just, like, a Battle Royale practice here. See what happens. So it's already... I don't know what it'll boost to out of the box, but what you want to take a look at for the crash, you want to see... The power limit's not going off. I must not have applied Precision X. Yeah, this is boosting way too high. Oh, that's fine. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. But it's not gonna crash because when you have a shunt mod, my theory anyway. Oh yeah, dude. My theory is it won't crash with higher power limits or shunt mods because the voltage and load isn't doing this and hitting the power limit constantly, right? It's nice and smooth and steady, right? So let's just do this practice mode here. I'm not gonna kill anything. I don't really care. But you see how my core clock is like locked at 2 gigahertz out of the box with a shunt mod though? But you see how it's overvolting to 1.93 to do it? This isn't gonna crash. Okay, we have to go back out and lock the power limit to 320 watts. That's the thing. 2K seemed to be what I saw. Oh my god. Okay, if I Alt-Tab, it's gonna crash though. That's the thing. Ah, that sucks. Okay, I'm just gonna exit the game quickly. Because also, if it crashes, it might go into safe mode after, and then when it goes into safe mode, you have to reapply all your settings, close Afterburner. It's such a shit show. Okay, where's my Precision X1 here? Actually, I'll just do it in Afterburner. Fuck it. Okay. Power limit, 62. Apply. It should lock now. Let's try this again. I don't see why it wouldn't lock. If it doesn't lock it at 62%, then this whole experiment has gone out the window. Because that's like my entire theory. The theory is, NVIDIA went so aggressive with their boost algorithms. Oh no. I don't want to see this. My theory is Nvidia went so hard on their boost algorithms that it's just hitting the power limit way too hard. No, I'm in windowed mode now. I'll just try and move this away and hope for the best. You see how it's full screen borderless? Ah. But let's just see if it's at the power limit here. I'll just move the render resolution. My god. Custom frame limit. Menu. Just whatever. Maxed it out. Of course. This game, I think it has something to do with the anti-cheat. If you have some kind of overlay like Afterburner and you engage the game, it thinks it's like an anti-cheat system. So, yeah, if you ever change any of your settings in Warzone, just turn off Afterburner before you do it, then turn on Afterburner after. That's the best way to do it. Okay, it should be locked at 62% now, 320 watts. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, they have to limit they have to limit the wattage, right? It didn't limit it. Look at this. Oh no, 150 watts. Why is it boosting so high in the menu? Let's crank the resolution up then. Fuck it. 4K. Don't I should have closed Afterburner. They have to limit the power. What they should have done is because they have to engineer the GPU cooler to the power wattage, right? So if they just let like this thing, if this thing's running at 450 watts, 500 watts the entire time, the cooler gets overloaded completely. It can't keep it cool enough, right? It'll just go past 75 like by itself. That's why they have to limit it. But what they did wrong was they limited it in such a fashion, like they should have had a voltage limit, not a power limit, I want to say. That was the proper way to do it. 86%. What's 217 times? Is that limited? Are we at 320 watts here? Calculator. 210 times 1.625. 340. Oh, maybe that is limited to 320 watts. Why is it showing 85% power limit though? That's strange. But okay, well, it seems to be limited right now. We'll have to go off this number here. I'm surprised it's that stable. But look how the frequency is jumping around between. Like it's constantly mashing that power limit, and look at the voltage fluctuation, and we're just in the menu, right? So we're not even doing anything right now, and the voltage is going up from 987 to 105. Like that's and we're literally not. This is the menu, right? That's my theory on what's going on here. So when we actually go into the game, you might see spikes and dips that are even higher, depending on what scene of the game you're loading, right? So, and this would be even more exasperated. Is that the right word? Yeah, this would be even more exasperated if you tried to move the slider up as well, too, right? Because then it's like, oh, I want to try and get 30 more megahertz, so I have to overvolt higher. But then it hits the power limit, and then it has to undervolt even more, and then, yeah. So, their frequency and voltage curve out of the box, I think, is too aggressive. That's the problem. So what you want to do... This is actually working quite well. Okay, let's go to the ground. Let's go on the ground here. It's not fluctuating that much in the plane right now. Are we at 4K still? Yeah, this is 4K. The voltage is fluctuating quite a bit, though. Okay, let's make this jump around. It's the voltage change with the power draw that's doing it. And it's the voltage change hitting the power limit is what I think is doing it. So, trying to make it jump around. This is actually doing quite well. I'm surprised at 320 watts. This must have been the sweet spot. I'm trying to get to a spot that has a high load. Or, you know what? Let me crank the settings up even further. Let me crank this up. I'll turn everything on max. Because I'm essentially trying to load it up as high as you possibly... Oh yeah, we'll turn ray tracing on. Oh no, we won't. No. Ray tracing would be a bad. Ray tracing actually reduces the load. Ultra. Okay. No! Mother of God. Yeah, but you saw it there in the menu what I was trying to get at. Like, the voltage spiking from 950 millivolts up to 1.07 or whatever that's far too high of a voltage, like, spikes for the regulators to keep up. I think that's what's happening. And that would also be more exasperated if you have a shitty power supply, like a China one, right? So you're essentially telling your power supply and your video card to keep up with all these spikes. And eventually it's gonna hit one where it can't keep up with it. Okay, let's try this again. Max everything out here. Maybe it would be worse in 1080p, I don't think so. .68, 1.31. So yeah, you can see it trying to boost past 2 gigahertz, which kind of everyone complains about. But then when it hits 2 gigahertz, you can see it drop back down to like 1900, right? Almost every time it hits 2, it goes back down. It's struggling. Look at the voltage fluctuations. That's what you want to pay attention to. We could actually even reduce the power limit even more. B550. Yeah, dude. It doesn't even have to be like a $1,000 like a nice like $150 power supply, just like an EVGA G3 or something. Doesn't have to be crazy. This game does look good in 4K, I must say. So we're hitting... I might have to reduce the power limit even more. This game is not pulling enough current. Like, so the 3080 at 320 watts looks like it's enough to saturate this game at 4K. Like this engine can't load it enough. That's the interesting thing. But still, look at the spike. We're still at 100 millivolt spikes up and down, right? Let's try Fire Strike. Fire Strike really hammers these cards hard. It's a good synthetic benchmark. Let me see here. Yeah, it's not fluctuating enough. So I don't see this game. Also, but what cards were those guys having that they were crashing in Warzone? Like, was it the Zotac ones? Okay, yeah, let's try Fire Strike. Oh yeah, dude, my power supply, I don't even know how old this thing is. It's no problems. 500 watts on a 2080 Ti for 2 years now. No problems on 2 8-pin rails. Yeah, let's try Fire Strike. This game is not heavy enough. Maybe Tomb Raider might be heavy. Let's do Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider benchmark. That'd be a good one. That's really spiky. I should have it installed here. Tomb Raider. My wife has the EVGA G2 or G3, I believe. And she's on a 500 watt 2080 Ti, and that power supply is cheap. It works fine. No dips, no problems. The 3090 that I'm getting is going to go into her computer, actually, so that will be a better test. People are giving Zotac a little too much shit for that, to be honest. Like my 2080 Ti, let's see here. Give me a second. Oh, we can't do render resolution in this game. Let's try 1080p. Let's see what happens. We'll do full screen, max settings, highest. What I was gonna say, like my 2080 Ti was a EVGA Black Edition, like the cheapest model that you can find, cheapest VRM. And it had the non-A chip on it. Let's try this. The non-A chip. Couldn't flash it. DX11 is a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. And like, I didn't give EVGA crap for it. I just like, okay, they cheaped out on this. It's my fault for spending $9.99 instead of spending, like, I was the one that saved $200 by getting the cheap one, right? It's on me. Let's see the voltage here. .025, 1.043. I gotta reduce the power limit more. This is still way too stable. It seems like this is more stable than it was when I had the card out of the box. Yeah, maybe DX11 is the answer. Oh, I got an idea. You know what we can do? They did, I believe. I think they did. The whole A and non-A thing was not. It was not. Like, people say it was bidding. It wasn't bidding. It was just product it was literally just product segmentation. So the people that bought the base models, like the Gigabyte Triple Fan, the EVGA Black, the Zotac, whatever, the like all the base model 999 ones, those were all supposed to be A or non-A ones. And then the idea there was you couldn't flash a higher power limit on it. That was the whole thing. So people are giving Zotac way too much shit for their cheap models, like especially in the 3000 series, because at least you can flash a higher BIOS later, right? They didn't change the actual silicon to a non-A one. This is still better than what we had before. People are just impatient. Just wait for a better BIOS to come out, right? Okay, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna overclock the core by 30 or 40 and reduce the power slider a little bit more. I'm gonna try and make it do this more. Yeah, like, So let's say if I was desperate for a 3080 and I got the Zotac model, and then I found out that it was cheaper, or I'd be like, okay, I spent base model money. The counter argument now is that the Founders Edition is cheaper than the Zotac model, but it comes with better components. That is a valid argument, though. This is the first time that's ever been the case, though. Nah, nothing. Let me try changing this up here. So you're essentially paying more. It's because the Founders Edition is so cheap, and we know that. Well, the rumors say. Where's my afterburner here? We know that they say that cooler that the Nvidia put on it is like cost them 100. Like they're losing money. They're not losing money on the chips, but they're definitely not going to be selling them. Like they're not going to be selling them for a very long time. I want to say. Let's try 55% power with a plus 40 clock. Let's see if that crashes it. Let's try 30. Okay. But that's the whole point, though. That's not, that's literally the entire point of the higher end models. I have a lot of buddies of mine that are into gaming, but that aren't necessarily into gaming hardware. And I actually recommend, I'm like, dude, if you don't want to mess with Afterburner or touch your shit, just buy the higher model, throw it in, and leave it alone. That's why they have, like, the gaming OC versions and shit, right? There we go. This is much better. Look at this. So, it's going up to... So, it's literally going up to 2055 and going all the way down. This is more what I was seeing with out of the box performance here. This is exactly what... This is why I think everything is crashing. That's fluctuating way too much. Yeah, I used to do that too, and then I got tired of it. My whole PC building journey is like, I went through the whole building computers and selling them phase, and then that actually my side gig actually blew up quite a bit, and I was selling a lot of PCs, and then because I was good at it, and then oh yeah, 100%. But then the more you do that and the better you get at it, the more people start asking you questions on like you're selling a PC to your buddy or to your friend or on Craigslist or Facebook or whatever. But you're not selling a service contract, right? And that's why I stopped doing that, because there was always this like implicit understanding that you would help that person with, like, even like, hey, I downloaded Warzone. What's the best settings for Warzone? Like, dude, why are you texting me? I sold you the computer. I'm not a 24/7 Wikipedia text line. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. You can. Yes, Ham Slice. Yes, and it's not just friends. It's everybody. They will text you a year later, dude. Oh, I had this one guy. It crashed. Look at that. Was I recording that? I really hope I was recording that. Oh my god, I wasn't recording that. Fuck. Hang on. No, I should have been recording this. Alright, I'll just record the entire stream after, or I'll download it off Twitch. That's fine. But, yeah, dude, it doesn't, so then, I can't remember where it was. Oh, yeah, okay, now I remember, okay. I had this one guy who came back a year and a half later. I haven't heard from him. He came back a year and a half later, and he's like, dude, my computer is blue screening. I'm like, okay, maybe the CPU degraded over time because I overclocked it too far. So, okay, whatever. Just bring it over. I'll take a look at it, right? Can I Control-Delete this? And then, he brings it over. I take the lid off, and it's like a fucking, like, my living room was covered in dust, dude, and I had to, like, peel it. I'm like, dude, like, I have to charge you at least $50 for this. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I can't, like, you can't come back a year and a half later and say your computer doesn't work, and then, you know, say, like, hey, you built me a shitty computer, and there's, like, an inch layer of dust on the fucking cooler. Like, I'm like, dude, like, and then it just kind of more and more examples of that. Yeah, I have a little, like, mini blower that I use, and I blew it out, and it really ran fine after that. But I gotta sign out and sign back in, I think, actually, to get this crash out of here. Can I get this out of here? This was a hard crash. Yeah, I might have to sign out. Yeah, I'm gonna sign out. Yeah, so then you giving away PCs for free? Yes, that happened to me too, dude. Oh, I had a buddy that lost his job, and I felt so bad for him that I got him. He was like a good buddy of mine, and I literally bought like a Dell OEM like i7 for like $100, and I threw an RX 570 in it, and wow, my computer is not happy right now. Okay, there we go. And then I'm like, dude, this is so we can play Overwatch together. This is what this is for, okay? And the next day he texts me and he's like, dude, the computer doesn't work. I'm like, what happened, bro? What happened? And he's like, I took the entire thing apart. I bought another case, and I tried to transplant everything into the nicer case. And now I have all my parts on the ground, and now it doesn't work. And I'm like, you can't transplant. Like, the Dell motherboards have specific pins for their cases, so you can't actually transplant the boards. I'm like, dude, I gave you the computer so you can just play Overwatch and enjoy it. I didn't give it to you to fuck around and waste my time with these texts now. So you literally try to help your friends, and it comes back to bite you in the ass, and it shouldn't be that way. And it's unfortunate that that's how it goes. That feeling obligated is more of a, like, you're too good of a guy if you feel obligated, you know what I mean? Like, you have to, eventually you get used enough where you draw the line and you're like, I can't do this anymore, you know what I mean? Like my time, your time starts to become more valuable than the friendship if that friendship is predicated on you helping them, you know what I mean? Like, that, you have to draw a line at some point. And you'll notice the really fucked up thing. Let me open Afterburner. The real fucked up thing that you'll notice is those friends are no longer your friends after you say you can't help them anymore. And that's a shame. And the reason why is because, you know how when you, yeah, because when you turn the music back on here. Oh, I gotta do voice-o-meter, right? Sorry, give me a second here. The reason why is because, you know, like, let's say if you're, yeah, like, if you take a girl out for a date or a dinner or something, and then you give them flowers. It's fine, whatever, you gave them flowers. And then the next date you go on, you don't bring anything. You're done right away. It's because you set an expectation of help or, you know, the flower giving, and then when you take it away or stop doing it, it feels like a transactional loss to the other human, which is actually the same thing as this whole Zotac thing. The Zotac buyers feel like it's a transactional loss that they got those capacitors taken away from them. And that's why they're so upset, right? And they're lashing out. Humans are the same in all regards of life here. Let me bring this back up to Tomb Raider. Where were we here? Kind of got side tangented a little bit here. Steam. Gonna do 100% fan speed. And yeah, so when you tell your buddy, I had this other buddy, I was like, hey man, you're kind of texting me too much a little bit now, and he kind of got into the overclocking scene a little bit, and then I was like, dude, you're kind of texting me a little too much, I don't have time, can you please join the Discord, and we have such a good community in there of people that will actually help you, right? And he got so upset with me, and he's like, whatever, man, I don't need your help, fuck you, kind of thing. I'm like, dude, like, where did the entitlement come from humans, where, like, maybe it's my fault, but why did you think that I could help you forever with your computer when I'm trying to grow a YouTube channel, and the more you grow, the more questions, I keep losing track of what I'm doing here. So even in the Discord, remember that video that I posted up that was like, after 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to lock down the Discord because I can't answer questions for free anymore? I was just being honest, right? And, a dude this morning at like 6 a.m., he joined the Discord. Like, you know, the Discord kind of got flooded a little bit. Like, ever since I posted that, we got like 100 new people in there, right? Which is great. But also 100 new questions and DMs, right? So, this dude, he's like, hey, I hope you don't mind. And then it was like a 2-paragraph long question. And I was like, dude, I can't help you with this. I'm like, you gotta post it in the tech support channel. I cannot help you. Like, it's too much. It's too much. Okay, let's do back to some crash testing here. Okay, so we got it to crash. Actually, it's already fluctuating so much in the menu here. Do you think it's it has to be generational. I was born in 85. But, this fluctuation is crazy. Let's try upping the power. This isn't actually kind of fair. Thanks for liking the stream, Bax. Let's do 60% power limit. What is that, calculator? 320 times 1.6. Ah, crap. 320 times 1.25, sorry, times 60%, 0.6. 312 watts. Okay, so this should be 312 watts right now. Apply. Yes. I don't have my 3090 yet. Somehow 1-day shipping turned into 4-day shipping, but it says it's going to be arriving on Monday. And I tried to call UPS. I'm like, dude, can I just it's like literally at the distribution center down the street, and they won't let me pick it up. It's fine. I'm not in a rush. I'm not going to... I'm excited to play with it, but also I'm not going to die if I don't get it today. I'm just happy that I got one. Like the fact that I got a 3090 on launch day is sick. So I'm whatever. That's not going anywhere. Sup, Coffee? Oh, Coffee! Dude, join the Discord again. Why didn't you join back? You gotta rejoin before I lock it up. Okay, let me get back to the comments here. 1 second. Entitlement generational issue. Yes. At what age did you think that happened though? Because I do, even in my age group, like I was born in 85. I'm 30. What am I? 35 right now. Good man. I'm proud of you, my friend. Yeah, 35. I'm 35 right now. So people that I graduated with high school, if I go to their Facebooks and stuff, they're all whiny little bitches anyway. It's mostly the same thing. So it must have been, I would say that it must have been between 80 and like 85, 86. Like, cause my generation, about half the people from my age group are whiny as shit. They're really whiny. I haven't seen any crashing at all. That's why we're testing this right now to see if I can make. And I made it crash once, right? But otherwise, when I got it out of the box, like, and I just like threw it in that first day in the unboxing video, it worked fine. I did like Fire Strike, Time Spy, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I did a whole slew of benchmarks, and I had no problems. But I was also cranking the fan speed to 100 from day one as well, so maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, I feel like my generation, I think, is the best generation, and not because I'm in it, but because I think my generation and Ham Slice's generation, we got to kind of see both sides of the fence. Our parents, like my parents, worked hard, immigrated, built everything they have from the ground up. They came here with a suitcase. Like, the story, every immigrant story is always the same, right? I came here with nothing. I built what I had. And that's, like, oh yeah, Coffee, you're Croatian. We immigrated here, man. My parents were fucking, my mom's from Bosnia. My dad's from fucking, where the hell's my dad from? No, mom was from Travnik, and dad was from Vitez, I think, or something like that. I don't remember. And then I was born here, but yes, exactly, Ham Slice. So, so we got to inherit the hard work from our parents. And we got to see, and my parents still work so hard. They didn't inherit the work smart, not work hard mentality though. So my parents will do things 10 times in different ways when they could have just like Googled it and done it once properly, kind of thing, right? That's, so they are on that side of the fence of hard work. And people on the other side of the fence, in like Coffee's age, they are mostly paralysis by analysis. So they will research things for 10 weeks before trying something, and then they never do anything. And then we're right in the middle of that. So that's why, right? I know exactly what's fucking going on here. Trust me, man. I have a lot of cousins stuff that are in your age group, and I'm watching them. I'm like, what are you doing? Just try it out. And I have a lot of buddies that are like that too. A lot of buddies that I graduated with, they got infused with the overthinking mindset, of society. And they can't break out of it. Even they're 35 now. They can't. They have to email their boss about something, and they'll overthink it for 20 minutes. Like it's crazy. Sensitivity, I don't know where that comes from either. I think that's societal now. Because as hard as it is to say, there's not really school bullies anymore, and there's not really like I don't know how, like, and you can't really get expelled from school. There's like no student left behind kind of thing. No, like that has to be where it's coming from. So like until they get to the, so like you pretty much live 20 years of your life in this cushioned system of we're never gonna let you fail, right? And then you get to 21 and you go into the workforce in the real world, and all of a sudden you're in the 99% of people that don't have a work ethic. You're getting fired from every job. Everyone's telling you you're a piece of shit, right? And then your only recourse is to do what you've done for the last 20 years, which is complain and whine until you get what you want. And that's actually extending further now. Maybe even until you're like the age of 30. That kind of works now. Because you can't afford housing by yourself. You can't afford rent by yourself. You're living with your parents until the age of 30 now. Or more. And if you complain and whine now until the age of 30, you get what you want. And maybe what we're seeing is that trickling into the PC hardware space, where look at all these whiners for Zotac. And Zotac has two options now. They can be like, return it if you don't like it. Tough luck. We segregated it for a reason, which is what I think they should do. They should put the foot down on this. Or they can do what EVGA kind of does, which, like, good on EVGA, they go above and beyond, but, like, they, like, return your card and we'll exchange it for free for a better one. Like, that's really good customer service, but that's also enabling the whining behavior. I'm gonna take my hoodie off, one sec. Okay. So that actually didn't crash. So let's try one more time, but I'm pretty sure it's not gonna crash, guys. I don't know. Clearly, EVGA put a good enough boost algorithm in their card from stock, right? But what we can test is how on the edge it is, though, right? Well, that we can test. T, what the fuck? I'm like boiling here. Like this graphics card that I'm testing is like blowing heat into my fucking face, and I can't, like, it's like I'm sweating here just sitting here. It's good to see you though, T. Maybe you should stop being gay and, you know, move back to Vancouver. Yeah, EVGA is awesome, dude. 100%. Like, EVGA's. And so my 2080 Ti was an EVGA Black Edition, which I got for $9.99. Like, I got the notification and I bought one off their website, right? So I saved $200 there, put that money towards a water block. The 3080 that I got was EVGA. They just happen to have it in stock, right? Made a phone call, got a pre-order on it. They're like, yeah, you can totally have one. I'm like, okay, alright, right? And then, the 3090, it's a For the Win Ultra 3. They gave that private invite link to loyal EVGA customers, right? I got the link, I'm like, okay, and I just checked out just fine. So it was like, it's not even that I'm trying to promote EVGA, but they're doing such a good job that, like, I might even just end up becoming an EVGA affiliate, you know what I mean? Just because they're doing such a good job. Clearly there's no crashes here on this card in stock form. They always get me everything I need. They're gonna, like, right? That's what I mean. And yeah, I don't know what to say. They're awesome. EVGA is the shit. I never complain. But I even tried to get like other models to get them, and I couldn't even get them, you know what I mean? But I think EVGA has the largest stock in North America. I think that's why we can get them so easily. Not easily, but easier here. It's cool that you have a therapist, Coffee. Did you keep watching Owen, man? I started watching some after I talked to you. I started watching more of his stuff, and it's just as good as I remember it. It's just as good. I don't think this is gonna crash. Yeah, exactly. Like, you know the thing, the whole Zotac thing? When that engineer said that this is not gonna crash. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? Look at that fluctuation though, holy shit. So it's fluctuating that much and it's not crashing. Right? But this is literally exactly what I think why it's crashing. It's because maybe the other models... Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Maybe the other models put one bin to... You know what, let's try that, let's try that. I wonder if it's just one bin higher. Okay. We're gonna go plus 15. 15 megahertz is, each bin. Like, each... I think you call it bin. It's each bin of the GPU, right? So let's go by plus 15. That's it. Check mark it. Let's see if it crashes. I bet it might even just crash. But yeah, the first thing I might even do when I hit 1,000 is becoming an EVGA affiliate. Just I can't complain, man. They take care of me, and they you know what I mean? Let's see here. I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit, see if it crashes. See how it's fluctuating to 2040 now? It's just one bin higher, just one. It might even just be able to do it and crash it. But yeah, oh yeah, so the Zotac thing, when that engineer came out and he said that, yes, we purposely limited it so it clocks lower. Like, that to me is, like, he did good. Like, that was a good thing that he did. You know what I mean? Like, he was honest and upfront with his customers. He's like, hey, you bought the base model, and you're gonna lose 45 megahertz or whatever, because we didn't put any filtering caps on it. Like, the dude said that. So it's like, oh, okay then, so now I have a decision to make. Do I return the card? Do I enjoy it because it works fine? Or do I bitch about it because I feel like I got a transactional loss? The transactional loss is the human You know what I mean? That's the problem. That's the problem. Didn't you get a 3080 ham slice? I think you did, or it's not coming yet. I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm gonna have to stop the stream soon. Oh. Actually, my wife is going to be home in 20 minutes, so I have to order Uber Eats for us before she gets here. Because she hangry. Gotta feed the wifey. Always gotta feed the wife. At all times, does there need to be food for the wife? And I wonder if she's watching this, or if she'll watch this later and be like, that fucker. Hang on, okay, Uber Eats, let's see here. Alright, let's run the benchmark while we do this. Look at that voltage fluctuation, though. Even just in the menu, it's... This is also a good indicator as to why it's crashing, because the load of the game actually isn't changing, because we're in a menu, right? The FPS is staying the same. So, why didn't NVIDIA do a lower voltage limit but a higher power limit? But instead they did a lower power limit with a higher voltage limit. So the FPS stays the same, but the voltage and clock speed is constantly doing this to maintain the power limit. That's why it's crashing, right? Let's run the benchmark. Okay, Uber Eats. What are we gonna order here, folks? What should I order for my wife? Post it in there if you want it. Okay, we got burgers. Burger sounds good, actually. I might do burgers. Pizza, not pizza. Pho we had yesterday. Subway. Did you get the invite link too? You have to wait until I do my benchmarks though, because you have to keep in mind, not because I'm like special or anything, but because my benchmarks are going to be much more indicative of the performance gap, because I'm actually going to go through the effort of undervolting and power modding and trying to scale the card as much as I can, right? All the reviews right now for the 3090 are just like, out of the box, here it is, throw it in. Yeah, of course it's going to be 10%. It's running at 350 watts. That's 10% more power draw. Like, you know what I mean? That's... The reviews are very silly, in my opinion. Very silly. What can we order here? Maybe we'll just go with burgers. Indian cuisine. Nah, they always chintz you on the portions. Yeah, we'll go with Can I orders? Sorry, I'm just ordering food for my wife right now. No couriers nearby. What the hell? This is silly. Huh. There's nothing to order. There's no couriers nearby. What the hell? Maybe we'll just get Pizza Hut then. That's stupid. Didn't crash. Okay, let's try 2 bins. which is 30 megahertz difference. 30 megahertz. Let's try. $30 megahertz. Check. And then once we get it to crash, then I'll probably call it. Or when my wife comes home, we'll call it. This is a good stream, though. Good sesh. Okay, 30 megahertz. It's not even hitting 2 gigahertz now. That's interesting. Oh, there we go. See how it's spiked even lower now? We're at 1800s. Alright, let's do a bench while I order food here. I'm just gonna do Pizza Hut. This is ridiculous. I love me some Pizza Hut. Okay, order now. Yes.
Hey! Cuidado, niños!
Deals. I want a pizza box. Create a meal deal. Yes, that's what I want. Da na 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 da na 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 na. Da 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 da. I want Alfredo sauce. Light Alfredo sauce. Actually, no, we'll go tomato sauce today. Pepperoni, yes, pepperoni. Chicken, yes. Italian sausage, hell yeah. Oh yeah, baby. And then Parmesan. No. Continue. Yes. Continue. Boneless bites. Medium buffalo. Continue. Add deal to cart. Sorry guys, one sec. View cart. Just ordering some pizza for the wifey. $20. You can't beat that, man. Pizza Hut's the shit. Checkout. When would you like it? Right now, please. 604. Password? I don't have a password. I'll pay later. Place your order. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys, for being patient. Okay. Okay. It crashed. There we go. Perfect timing. Just as I finished ordering my pizza. So, the EVGA, the result, the confirmation of this testing now. The EVGA card doesn't crash out of the box. Not in my experience. But it is 30 megahertz. Out of the box with no overvolting or anything like that. You can't even overclock it 30 megahertz without the spike being too big for the card to, for the voltage spikes and the power limit spikes to not crash. It's too much. It's too sine wavy. So, one more thing we're gonna test here. I'll have to sign out again, I think. The last thing that we're gonna test here, we're going to do plus 30, but with the power limit removed. And the reason why that's important is because if the card has the power budget headroom to not have to do this, but it can just like stay where it wants to be, it's not gonna crash. That's my theory. Let's figure it out. Hang on, Afterburner. Not gonna bother with the music now. So plus 30, right? All the settings are the exact same here. And all we're gonna do is move the slider up and remove the power limit. That's it. Now, let's go back into Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider. Where are you at, Tomb Raider? Okay, Tomb Raider. That moment you have way too many Steam games. Way too many. So, 30 plus 30 megahertz crashed. So that means if another manufacturer had that plus 30 in their boost table on the BIOS, that's it. That's the difference we're talking about here, is 30 megahertz between a crash and a stable. Out of the box. So now we're going to do plus 30 megahertz with no power limit, and I bet you it's not going to crash. Because it doesn't have to bounce off of a limiter the entire time. Options. See, look how happy it is. The core clock just stays there. The voltage just stays there. It's so much happier, that it doesn't have to bounce off of a power limit, right? That's 1.1. I didn't know Ampere could go that high. There's your problem right there. That's higher than what Turing can do. What the hell? Okay. It crashed! Look at that! Okay, never mind. Theory disproven. It must have gotten too hot, though. It was trying to boost way too... Okay. I got an even better idea here. I got a better idea for what we can test. Hang on, sign out. Maybe it doesn't tolerate higher voltages. That's possible as well. Maybe the higher voltage introduces too much noise for those filtering capacitors. That's possible. Let's try that. We can actually test that right now. Okay. Let me show you guys how to actually test for this. And then we'll call it a day after this is done here. So, I don't need this graph here. Okay, so we're going to go back to plus 0, right? We're going to do Control F. We're going to bring this up. So, 1.1 volt, what was it boosting to? 2040 plus 30. Yeah, that's exactly where we saw it crash, right? 2070. So what we're going to do is we're going to voltage lock it to, I don't know, 1050, like 0.5 millivolts less. Let's move this all the way down, 1050. And we're going to go up to 2070 here. Check. 2070. So what this does, it's going to allow it to boost plus 30, but not go higher than 2050 millivolts, or 1050, sorry. So, let's move this out of the way. Reload Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider. Now, if it doesn't crash, it could be that the filtering capacitors can't handle that much voltage. I actually had a very similar problem on my old GTX 1080, where if I went 0.05 millivolts above 1.1, it would crash the card immediately. I've had this before. Even though it was water blocked and everything, I've had it before. Some cards just cannot tolerate that high of a voltage. And it's surprising that NVIDIA would allow it to go to 1.1 out of the box. Okay. You see how we're locked at 1.050 and 2070 megahertz? It's been down because it's getting hotter, but this was where it crashed before. So let's do... I gotta turn the voice on here. Hang on. Voice-o-meter. Sorry about that. We're doing some investigative sleuthing here. Oh my god. That is a hideous sound. Man, voice-o-meter, as good as you are a buggy as shit. Okay. Come on, you can do this. There we go. Come on, you can do this. Alright. Let's do a benchmark. So we're not gonna we're gonna let it go to 2070, the plus 30, but we're not going to let it go past 1.05 volts. And we'll find out. In the third scene, I want to say, I think. Right? It was the third scene? Yeah. You can do this. Come on. So, the theory, again, the theory being, if it passes this, it's technically not the clock speed doing it, it's the voltage. Well, the 1.1, I've never seen that before, that was ridiculous, but it's the heightness of the voltage that doesn't let it... Oh, my baby! You're home. I ordered pizza. Because there's no drivers for Uber Eats. Huh? Yeah. I'll be done in a second. I think I've proven my theory. It was a really good stream. We went deep into philosophy. Yes, baby. Sorry, baby. I have my headphones on. I gotta remember to not talk so savagely. Because my throat hurts after, too. Yep, this is fine. So it's the voltage doing it. This is why you buy higher end models, folks. The components can tolerate higher voltage. It could be the ampere chip too. It could be, but we're not sure what's not tolerant of the voltage yet. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm gonna go eat some dinner with my wife. I'll do a stream recap for YouTube with my findings, and I will also... I'll test this further for the recap video, and I'll try and see if I can find a voltage point that makes it crash. And then if that's the case, people can just voltage lock their cards and be fine. But okay. Thanks for joining me, fam. Coffee, ham slice. Whoever was there before, I don't remember. Oh yeah, Chamber Tech, thanks for coming, man. Good times. Newman, as always. Good stuff, folks. Okay, I'm gonna call it today. See you guys in the next video. Talk to you later.